We are live. Hello.
Thought I'd spice it up today. Spice up the introduction. What's
Love
up,
it.
Grace?
Nothing much. A little cloudy over here. The
Yeah.
weather report is cloudy. But how's it going in New York?
It's good, lovely summer, and
Ah,
congratulations to all of the Zelda fans out there. We made it. Everyone, a happy Breath of the Wild, Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, whatever the heck day.
Nice.
Sending love to the fans.
Amazing.
Yes, today, though, we are not talking about The Legend of Zelda, unfortunately.
Maybe
We're
next
talking
time.
about Bluesky, which is this decentralized Twitter competitor headed by Jack Dorsey. Decentralized social media buzzwords, blah, blah, beta.
Open source.
Beta.
Protocols. Yeah.
Invite only. And we're going to be talking all about Bluesky today, what it is, if you don't know what it is, whether it can really, solidify itself as a viable Twitter competitor, if it, what decentralized social media even might look like, and more. But before we get into that, I want to say, this might be our last What's Going On this channel. Don't cry. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. But actually, we're going to be moving over to another channel. We are splitting up the Kapwing channel into the main channel where you guys are now, where we're going to have mostly tutorials and things that help you with the product of Kapwing, and then everything else that has to do with tips and tricks, trends, things like that. Experiments are going to go on this other channel. So if you want to keep up with us, click the first link in the description. It's a Google form. You can put in your email, and we will email you once that channel is live. So you can keep up with us on this other channel, and we'll get a fresh start. And it'll be more of an emphasis on community building and just making sure that we have a better understanding of what you guys want. So make sure to click that form, fill it out, and we'll see you on the other channel very shortly.
Nice.
Cool.
Exciting stuff.
All right.
All right.
Let's dive in.
Back to Bluesky.
Bluesky. What is it? This is Bluesky, in fact. If you haven't been paying attention, obviously ever since Elon Musk took over Twitter, there's been sort of a diaspora, I guess, I feel like, of Twitter users going to other websites. Mastodon was another one that popped up and I think was really big for a while. And now it seems like Bluesky is the next iteration of that. It says that they are building a social internet, which is a very vague thing.
Yeah, the graphic too is like cool blocks.
Yeah, it's looking very crypto to me.
And vague.
Very vague. But pretty much it is a decentralized platform that is being started by Jack Dorsey. And what that means is that moderation will largely come from actually the individual user, and different moderation settings that the individual user can decide for themselves if they want to see, what they don't want to see. That's the interesting thing, is that they're going to be putting moderation in the hands of the users rather than probably having like a large team of content moderators, which will be interesting because, as we know, content moderation is pretty much the product on social media, because advertisers, come in based on if they feel that the moderation of the platform aligns with their brand. So that's the interesting thing.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting. I think the big distinction here is that So there's this thing called the AT protocol that they're building, which is the like kind of decentralized open source part of it that, yeah, I think is essentially like this underlying social network framework that they're intending for future social media app creators to build on this AT protocol so that you can transfer things like your followers and your data and things between different social media platforms, which we haven't seen before. Like, I guess people don't know today, like companies like Facebook and I guess Instagram, which is now part of Facebook, and Twitter, they all kind of built their own tech stack and they handle their own user data and things like that. And so, as many of you know, if you try to start a new account on a new social media platform, you have to start from zero, which is actually a huge pain point. I feel like, you know, like people's businesses and lives depend on social media today. And so starting from zero is that's just like, you're basically starting over again. Or like if you have a following on an existing platform, it's so hard to transfer that somewhere else. And then it means like 10 times more work for you to create content on these platforms. So I think, this AT protocol is trying to help make it easier to jump between different social networks. And Bluesky is the first kind of like implementation of the protocol. So I feel like in a sentence, Bluesky is just like Twitter, but decentralized. Like if I have seen screenshots and if anyone here is on the beta, by the way, would love to hear your experience in the comments. But from what it seems like, Bluesky looks very much like Twitter, to the point where I'm even like, is that like okay, like ethically or legally? Like, can they make it look so similar, you know?
Yeah, this is actually Bluesky and not Twitter. You could be fooled. I know, literally, like it's like the same like color, even it's the same color choices.
Like
it's so
is that allowed?
I guess there's probably no like, as long as they're not using the any logos of Twitter or like, I don't know, words that are like, I don't know, trademarked. I guess why not?
I guess.
But then I guess that's the interesting thing, is like, is that actually helpful? Because there's like pretty much no learning curve to join Bluesky. It's like so easy to move from Twitter to this. I'd imagine it literally looks the same.
That's true. Also interesting to note is, so Bluesky, it was kind of created out of Twitter. Like I think back in 2019 or something, Jack Dorsey was announced that like some of the Twitter engineers, like a small group would be, there it is. A small group would be kind of working on Bluesky. And then, but when Elon Musk bought Twitter and all that stuff started happening, they like completely like severed ties with Twitter. So supposedly now it's not at all affiliated with Twitter. Jack Dorsey is like on the board or something. He's not even the CEO. But so that's just more context. It's not really Twitter anymore, officially at least.
Yeah, definitely not. And in fact, I think they're probably a little threatened by this. I think the question I have about all of this is, can Bluesky actually like disrupt Twitter? Obviously, Bluesky has like like you've said, Grace, like this AT protocol actually seems pretty interesting to me. Being able to have sort of one account of data of followers who can follow you across like multiple different apps seems really interesting. But like, until there are a bunch of apps on there, like, will people actually make use? And like, I don't know, Twitter is so, everyone's already on Twitter, like it's Bluesky is invite only, right? So like, even if you want to get on, it's hard to get on. Is that going to slow down their growth? Because like right now, I would try to use Bluesky if I could get on, but I wonder if like in 3 months, if they open it up to the public, like if I'll be like, over it.
Right. Yeah, I feel you. I think it's definitely getting really hot right now, and like as a thing to check out, like in the same way that we went through this with Clubhouse, with like all these other like Hive and like all these other Mastodon, you know, like Mastodon also is a decentralized like social media, which I think is why like a lot of people went to it when people are looking out for Twitter alternatives. I do think a lot of the hype right now is just like potentially a fad. Like people will, just try it and be like, okay, cool. And I do agree, like the main value prop of this AT protocol only really works if there's other apps built on it and they're actually being used. Like I think that's the problem, is like there might be people already trying to develop, or maybe not because it's in beta, but I could see it like very quickly people will try to create social media apps on this network. But like if no one's on them, you would like, there's no point to join an app that no one is on that's supposed to be social media. So I think the value prop is like not really going to play out right now. I think the other main value prop is just that it's not Twitter, but it's like Twitter but not, you know, like I think that's why people are like it right now, because Twitter has become almost unusable. Like I personally don't use it almost at all anymore, just because you got all these people in the comments with the check marks and you can't actually see the real conversation. So I feel like that's another reason it's like getting a lot of traction right now. So we'll see if that lasts.
I think also like, we've heard good things from people who are on it.
Right.
Quickly, I guess we'll just one more time say, what is Bluesky? Because we have some people asking. Bluesky is a Twitter alternative that is decentralized and is being worked on by Jack Dorsey, who's the Twitter founder, and it's pretty much a Twitter competitor. And right now it's invite only, and that's my point. Was like, I think we've heard a lot of good things about it from people who are already on it, but like I feel like it's not hard to have a good experience on something if it is like invite only and like mostly high quality conversations, right? Like right now it's almost like
true,
like a dating app where you have to have like Raya. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, where you have to get like approved and like only the highest quality like singles can be on there. And in the same way, it's like this, it's always going to be nice if it's exclusive and you're talking to interesting people who like, you know, especially I'm assuming like most of these people on this probably like work in tech. So like for people who work in tech, it's probably a great way to network. But like once the floodgates are opened, is that still going to be the case? Like, is the quality of conversation going to really be higher, or is it just going to devolve?
Right. Yeah. I also think, I mean, so much of these social platforms come down to culture, right? And so I think it starts with like having a good kernel of people who are on the platform. So if people think there are high quality conversations right now, which I've actually heard some people are not a fan of like the kinds of posts that people are making now, just because it's a lot of like jokes and memes and that kind of thing. But if you have a good kernel, I think that can oftentimes grow into something bigger. But this is like also a special case where it's like this small private inviting thing, and then all of a sudden you're just like drastically like everyone can come now. And I feel like with Clubhouse, I mean, there's other factors, of course, with like the fact that COVID was probably a big driver of growth for them and stuff like that. But I think when you took away the private invite only thing, like it was just not as interesting anymore. So how much of this is just because it's like exclusive right now?
Right, exactly. And like, I feel like it almost is like the antithesis to me of decentralized is like gatekeeping this platform.
That's
right
interesting.
Like decentralized should give anyone the option to get on. And I know it's really early, so like easy for me to say like, oh, this should be available to everyone. But like, if it doesn't become that quickly, I think we might see it get a lot of flack.
It's like,
because right now, like I think we discovered you can buy a like invite on eBay or something for like hundreds of dollars, which is like ridiculous.
That's also advice. Don't do that. I'm sure there's so many people just being like, I have an invite and it's like $600, and then you just pay them and you don't get it. So not recommended. I would wait till you could sign up on the wait list, of course, if you want to get access. But
like
I think
like the rest of us plebs.
Yeah. Wait your turn in line. But I do think like a lot of the success of Blue Sky also depends on like how Twitter goes, like
Yeah.
Twitter clearly like recently has not been doing too hot, I'd say, just because the whole thing with the check marks and now priority in comments, and it just feels like things are changing and like kind of starting to break a little more, I feel like recently. But I also heard that I think I started seeing news articles that they're talking to potential, there we go, potential people to be the new CEO.
I think they
And
found her.
so, they
This
actually
is her.
did?
Yeah, they announced it this morning.
Oh, okay.
She is
Wow.
a advertising executive.
Wow, hot off the press.
Yeah.
As of, I guess, an hour. Wow, yeah, because I checked it like before 9 a.m. for my time, and I was like, everyone was like, maybe. Rumor.
Tweet from Elon.
Wow. Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot they renamed Twitter to X. I was like, what is X/Twitter? Is it like r/whatever on Reddit?
Wait, I didn't even know that.
Oh yeah, it's like a whole like Meta and then Facebook. Like Twitter is the product, right. X is the company.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, so this is like, things are moving so quickly. Like I could see the ship turning around, honestly. Like maybe Twitter will get better again, and then it's like, all right, I don't need another. Because honestly, like it's nice the pain point of trying to shift your different followers and all that between different social networks. That sounds really good in theory, but also I think most people don't want to be on 50 different social media networks, right?
Yeah.
Like I think even if you have an account on most of them, you oftentimes, especially if you're doing this for your job, for your business, for your brand, you're focusing on one or two, like you're not posting consistently everywhere all the time.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe this is just like people don't want to have to think about the next social network, It's like Twitter has its hole already.
Yeah, no, I think, like obviously it's harder to disrupt than it is to remain the leader. Yeah. Like if you're already the leader, it's easier to play defense than it is to play offense. So I agree mostly. I think if it, I don't know if it, I don't know though. Like it is just so annoying to see all of those check marks, like the check marks of like people impersonating others, and it's like, how did we get here? I don't know. Right. I think there's points to Blue Sky, definitely. Like we can see how, in some ways, deeper conversation, I guess, but how like capitalism, right, can like corrupt a website like that's like a social media where like before Twitter like wasn't really making money at all, and still I don't think they are, but they weren't making money, but the conversation was probably more it was more equitable to like find your way into conversations. Now it's like sort of a pay to win, and I think we're seeing that there are points to be made from like a decentralized app. So I'm not sure if that's enough, but I think people are catching on to like, oh, if there is a way to have a social media where it's not as revolved around profit, but around like a group effort to make a space that's good for conversation, like that's probably a worthy invention.
Yeah. Which also begs the question, I'm like wondering if Blue Sky is going to be like a nonprofit, or like what is because if it's just another company, I don't know, like how are you different from Twitter ultimately? Like a few features on your platform, like will that make a huge difference? Also, with this news that I'm reading the tweet now, she'll focus primarily on business operations while I focus on product design and new technology. So I honestly feel like this is such a PR move in a way. Like maybe, yes, it'll allow Elon to focus more on the actual product and not have to worry about like other things that a CEO would, but I don't know, like he's still gonna be in charge of the product.
Yeah.
You know, like this, which I've not been appreciating what he's been doing. So I don't know. I'm curious to see what will happen.
I think this probably it at least puts a band-aid on the issue of advertisers pulling out of Twitter, which is probably like their biggest concern right now.
Yeah.
A ton of advertisers pulled out when Elon became CEO, because obviously he's like a polarizing figure, and many people were like, he removed a lot of the content moderation employees and the division, and like some bad content was slipping through the cracks, and advertisers don't want to be associated with that. So I think maybe this gives having an executive who's probably very well connected in the advertising space as CEO probably gives like a fresh face and a more serious face to this problem.
Right. I do think ultimately, Bluesky can disrupt Twitter. I think because it's so similar, because it feels like the best alternative. Like I think for so long, everyone, since it feels like October or something, people have been grumbling about Twitter and like, oh, it's not the same. Like, I don't like how the changes. And I mean, I've been doing that too. But I think it's been hard because it's like, where do we go? People go to Twitter to learn about news, to learn about what's happening with Twitter. It feels like like there's no place that people are going. And then we tried Mastodon, we tried these other things, and like, it's just not the same. So I do feel like because now Bluesky is rising as like the best alternative to Twitter, and it feels very much like it could really like, this could be it. It could be it.
Yeah.
This could be the death of Twitter. Because I think even if advertisers come back and they feel more trust in this new CEO, the product is still like obviously affects everything that advertisers will be trying to do on the platform.
Yeah.
If you have all these people in the comments that are just blue subscribers, like commenting, and it just, I don't know. I think that it could just be this death spiral of like, it's still not usable, even if advertisers come back. And then they'll like eventually realize people don't want to be on the platform. They don't like the platform. Bluesky suddenly opens to the public, and now everyone's going to Bluesky. I could just see the dominoes falling very easily here.
Yeah, I think it's a precarious situation. I completely agree. And I'm on the wait list, and like, I would love to get off of it. I would love to use the product. And yeah, similarly, like I'm a Twitter refugee. Like, I no longer really use Twitter. And I'm mostly okay with that. Like, it's not, I don't really like miss it. And I think it opened, like, I guess the other question is like, is there even a place for like a non-video social media anymore? Like are the people who left Twitter just gonna go to TikTok and stay there, or is there still like this need for text-based socials?
I've been wondering
I think that's
that
the
too.
bigger question for me.
Yeah, because it ultimately, like, it does feel like all the social media platforms are moving towards video or even audio. I think audio is still in question. Like, we don't have a good audio social media yet, so I could see people still exploring that. But yeah, like text. I mean, Twitter is probably the only one I can think of, the only major one that's still like based on text, right? For the most part. And yes, you can post videos, you can post photos, but ultimately it's still very text-based. I mean, Facebook, I guess, was text-based. And now I think that part of it is like kind of almost a joke for a lot of people. Or they're just also leaning in on the video thing. I do feel like there's still probably a place for text-based socials. Because it does feel very much like the kind of epitome of social networking is like having conversations with people. And I think it lends itself to that more so than a video, where it's more like you're the audience, and yes, you can comment and have conversations in the comments, but it's not the same as like having a conversation that's based off of a text prompt or something. I guess Reddit is probably the other one that's very text-based.
True. That's a good point.
I think especially for people like journalists and like sharing news, that kind of thing. Although, then it's like, what's the difference between LinkedIn and Twitter? And I don't know. They're all kind of overlapping.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wonder if Bluesky will try and build out like video and photo upload support. That would be interesting if they took a stance of like only text or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think there's still a place for it, and maybe that's like the niche they carve.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Maybe I'm being a little dramatic when I say like, is there a need? Of course there is, but like, is it going to be, is that still the standard? Like, is that still somewhere that like a majority of social users would want to use, or are most people enjoying the video thing? I don't know. We'll see.
I think it also gets into this question of like, do people use Twitter because they like something inherently about text-based media, or is it just because that's a platform that a lot of people are on?
Yeah.
Like if you're a brand or if you're an influencer creator, are you posting because you actually want to post a text thing, or because that's like where people are?
Yeah,
I don't know
anymore. I don't know. In some ways, I feel like you don't have to be a creator, right, to post text. It's much easier to take part in conversations if there's no video component. So like, I think it's not as big of a place for like maybe like content creators, because anyone can write a tweet that's funny or that's interesting, and that becomes, of course there's like an art to the Twitter thread now, but even so, like I feel like a lot of people maybe don't want to show like their face on video, like and that's where like Twitter does well, is it sort of democratizes and gives everyone the chance to get their thoughts heard without being like
that's true,
a face on the online.
No, that's fair. And I still think there's generally like, there's still a large group of people who don't want to make videos. Like I think we saw that with Instagram, where it was like, why are you forcing us to try and make videos or push us towards videos? We don't want it. I think the same thing with, and now that I think about it, I feel like Twitter is a really good place for people who have, like online courses or like coaching, consulting, like, that kind of thing, as opposed to a platform like TikTok or YouTube where you're making money on the audience, like watching your content. It's more like Twitter is like an advertising platform to get people to go other places. But I think like that's, Twitter has not been doing great revenue wise with like subscriptions, and like I don't know. I think brands are drawn to places where they have opportunities to make money, which kind of sad in some ways, but I think that it's like less so on a text-based platform that we see that nowadays. So that's the other thing. Is it like, will it just be kind of like a casual thing like Reddit, where I feel like Reddit also has had issues making money and like building their platform too?
Yeah, we will have to see. And maybe that's not the point for Bluesky. Maybe if they can brand themselves as like, we don't care about making money, then maybe that's appealing as well.
True.
All right. Well, I think we've covered Bluesky for now. We'll have to maybe circle back when it's open to the public and we can all get our hands on it.
Right.
But I hope a lot of your questions are answered. I will remind you, this is maybe one of, if not one of the last What's Going On episodes on this channel. We'll be moving to a second channel where we are focusing more on, the main channel will be mostly tutorial videos, so you guys can keep up with how to use Kapwing in the best possible way. And all of our other content, experiments, tips and tricks, trend videos, coverage like this will be on the other channel. So if you want to keep up with us and our show, make sure to click the first link in the description. It's a Google form. You can put in your email and we will let you know when our channel is made and when our show is going live, so that you don't miss another episode. All right, you guys. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for being here, y'all. See you later.
Bye.